Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to our weekly webinar, Interactive Trading Conversations. I see some new faces, so special welcome to you. My name is Simon Friedman. I'm a Senior Account Manager with AvaTrade. And just a few words about myself. I've been involved in trading for the past 24 years plus. Started as a prop trader in New York City. And after 11 years of intense prop trading, I moved into a less stressful environment, let's put it that way. And I started to educate and mentor others. And I'm happy that I have this opportunity to be assisting our customers at AvaTrade. Now, before we go further, as usual, I need your assistance just to make sure that you could hear me. If you could type OK into the questions window to confirm, and also for the visual that you could see the excuse me, the AvaTrade logo, just type CSEE. So type OK if you could hear me, and type C if you could see the presentation. I'll just give it for a few seconds to confirm that. Thank you. Great. Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate that. Okay. So let's move on. So I introduced myself, and the agenda of the webinar, we're here to ask specific questions on specific markets. We'll discuss it together. We'll take a look at the charts. I follow a lot of markets, so if I know any specifics as far as fundamentals, I'll be happy to share with you. Of course, it's all public information. Risk warning. You can find the full statement at avatrade.com website. And of course, everything we do here, it's purely educational. Social media, important point here. We'll be happy if you follow us on Telegram, X, and my favorite YouTube channel. We can find a lot of information, including tutorials, educational material, and also webinars. If you missed the webinar, please feel free to get on YouTube, and we record and post all the webinars on YouTube, so don't worry about missing it. Okay, that's it pretty much. I just want to explain to get clear. We have 1 hour for this webinar, and I hope that we don't stop with questions, because sometimes I have to beg for questions, and on some occasions we need to close the webinar ahead of time, because I'm not going to fake the questions just to keep on talking. I want it to be real questions from you. We'll discuss it. We'll try to make sense on the specific markets that you ask about. All you have to do is just type it into the question window, and I'll read it, and we'll work on that, okay? Don't be shy. Also, keep in mind that the questions that you ask will be helping people that would be watching this on YouTube channel as a recording. So obviously, they cannot ask any questions, but your questions are helping a lot of people. Okay. All right. I think we can start. I'm going to bring the trading platform here, and we can start with specific questions. Just it's very simple. You have a question about specific asset. Would it be gold, oil, as far as commodities, or any other commodities, or any specific shares when it comes to equity or indices or forex pairs, currency pairs? Just shoot the question, type it in, and let's have a lot of it. Okay, Eric, thank you for your question. Eric is opening the season, and Eric is saying, can we look at gold? Absolutely. By the way, there was an article today on marketwatch.com, and I don't remember who wrote it, but they wrote, there's an article saying that gold has potential to go to 4,400. I don't know where they get that number from. I'm not saying it can't, but I just, when I was preparing for the market review for my team, gold, as we know, is the all-time highs. It's been doing great this year. as I usually say, when fundamentally the gold is being bought by a lot of central bank that includes physical gold to offset the inflation, and also when people feel uncertainty and not really sure about where to invest, and the wars and all the geopolitical things happening in the world. So traditionally, gold is getting a lot of inflow of capital, and that's exactly what's been happening now. There's not much to say here technically, as we are at the all-time highs. Last week was robust. This week we started, where are we today? On Wednesday. So Monday up, Tuesday down, Wednesday flat. As we all know, in about 50 something minutes, we're getting the FOMC decision of the Feds on the interest rate and the statement. And 30 minutes later will be the press conference of Jerome Powell, the chair. And definitely the whole market is waiting for that. It looks like we are getting the cut, first time in 2 years. And also there's a big chance, I think, before this morning was about 61% probability that, based on the CME tool, that it's going to be 50 basis points. And that historically happened last time in 2008 when the Feds were trying to save, first of all, the US and then the world from the global recession when we had an issue. I'm going to take a screenshot now and just bring it to the window. Give me just 1 second. It is still remaining at 61%. Just 1 second, so you could all see it. There we go. So this is as of now the CME. You can Google it, CME Feds tool, right? And it's a 61% probability that we're getting 50 basis points cut, and 39% that we're getting 25 basis points. Here we go. It was a month ago. It was the opposite. It was 75% for the smaller one, 25 for the bigger one, and then it was 80, 86 again, 14, and then we flipped towards kind of more votes towards the higher or the larger cut. So that's a bigger probability of the 50 basis points, which is 0.5% cut. Okay, so very simple. If we're going higher, the recent high that we hit 25.8956. We started the week with that, and if we decide to fall, we might come to this 25.09. Definitely 25 is a psychological level to hit, right? So important to know that together with the inflation number, it's also, as I said, that it's a safe haven. So we could see if we get 0.5% cut, the market might panic and start selling, and we might see money going into gold as well. So that would push gold to the new highs. All right. Will they bring it in? I'm not sure. A lot of bullish sentiment on gold currently. All right. Great question, Eric. Thank you. And let's be active. Let's ask questions. So far, I just have a question from Eric, and I have a lot of people here. Eric's asking another question, saving a day. Eric is asking, crude is an interest always. Okay. Great question, Eric. Crude oil. He actually had a nice run starting the week, breaking above 70, and today goes down again with the equity markets. And if you know me long enough, you know that when I speak of oil, I bring China, and China is not doing that great. So on the supply, there's still an issue in the Middle East with the latest things in Lebanon, with the pagers blowing and other things. There's some airlines are canceling the flights to the region. So the tension is growing. So I think maybe that's what pushed the oil up a little bit, but today it's cooling down. So again, the Middle East and all geopolitics, that's on the supply side. On the demand side, the market is not doing so great. I mean, we could have this miracle, and after the Fed's decision, we might move up, but we are flat today. As you could see, S&P 500 is flat on the day, a little bit in red. So it's a little bit uncertainty on the demand side, right? And China, as you can say, number one user of oil because they don't produce. U.S. also using a lot, but they're also producing, right? So China is not doing that great. So as long as demand is not picking up, oil might have some downside pressure. And as long as there are things happening, especially in the Middle East region, it could be concerned about the supply. And that's why if you take a look at oil, it's been, after selling, it's been recovering. So we're sitting now between 69 and 70 in the past few sessions, right? And if we are choosing to go higher, we had two supports being tested, and the third one we broke through around between $71 and $72, right? So we'll continue watching that, okay? Okay, Hans is asking, could you say anything about US dollar in the near future? Guys, also, when you ask questions, just add to your question your own opinion. So I'll read it too. It's important that everybody has their own opinion as well, and then we'll share it. Okay, so US dollar again today. The Fed's decision is very, very important. Since the scales kind of turned into 0.5 more likely, it put more pressure on the dollar, right? If the interest rate is cut more than expected, the dollar logically would get cheaper, right? So as you could see, we had some panic sell-off on dollar index. Yesterday was a little bit of recovery. We recovered pretty much the previous day's loss almost. And today we're flat, as you could see here. We're waiting for that decision. So to predict, we can't really predict anything. But logically speaking, if dollar decide, this is the weekly chart I just brought up. If, I mean, hypothetically, forget that 0.5 cut, a dollar might slide and come to around 99. It could be also already priced in on this recent 2-week move to the downside. And if it's 0.25, that would be probably better for a dollar. And if we choose to move higher, we'll probably retest this recent resistance around 101.70. So that's an idea. And we can't really know. And again, remember, if you are trading today, the initial move and volatility will increase on the announcement. It's about 40 minutes from now. And then it's going to be choppy. And then at 6:30 p.m. GMT, we have the press conference, usually press conference of Powell. It's even more volatile than the announcement itself. So that's on the dollar. Great question. Thank you, Hans. Ali is asking, hi, Simon. This might sound like a schoolboy question. What time in GMT are market trading opening for Asia market session, European market session, US session? These are technical questions, not specific to the instruments. You can, by the way, here, if you're using the MT4, MT5, you can find any market when it trades. I'll show you a trick. If you're looking Asian sections, that China, you go to specifications and you actually see the schedule, right? This is in GMT time. So it looks like China is trading without any breaks, right? According to this. Then you can check, you said European. So the biggest European market is the German DAX or DAX. You go to specifications And here you go. It trades from after midnight, 15 minutes after midnight until almost 8 GMT. And the US market is very simple. You can translate it in GMT, but the regular session in US market from 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m., right? And it also shows here, you go to, we're talking about this for the stocks, right? But indices, they trade with a little break. So S&Ps trade with a little break, but pretty much around the clock, right? You have the quotes and you have the trade. So it starts trading at on Sunday, as you could see here, and so on. So you can check that, okay? I didn't want to go into this answering, but I don't have any other questions, unfortunately. So I helped you out a little bit here, Ali, okay? And again, if you have any specific question, you can always refer to specifications. And you can always Google, you can talk to your account manager for specific markets, okay? Guys, we're about 20 minutes, 22 minutes into the webinar. I don't have any other questions from you, which is, don't want to judge, a little disappointing, but it's okay. I guess I'm here and ready for discussing, and I don't get any questions. So anyway, I want to wish everyone a great trading for the rest of the week. Please, if you are experienced, you know what you're doing, and you're ready to trade, the announcement that's about to come, that's cool. If you are new, and just be super careful and manage your risk, because this is, if you think about this interest rate cut, is the first one, as I mentioned, in the past 2 years. And if we are getting the half percentage, that's the first one since 2008. That's 16 years ago. So we could expect a lot of volatility in the market. And as I mentioned, market is really waiting here. On S&Ps, we're close to the tops. Nasdaq, we're a little bit far from the tops. And Dow Jones, we are on the tops as well. Hans is asking, it seems to me that the FX market is quite choppy at the moment, and a specific, I can't recommend to you any specific strategy, and we're not here to recommend what to do. But on the personal level, I can share with you, you need to find something that you understand better than other instruments, and have a collection of few, because sometimes you just trade one. I know people trade one instrument, which is totally fine, but there are also days when nothing's happening in that specific instrument. So it's good if you have a collection of few. And if you're a new trader, it's good to start with as little or as few as possible, so you can actually focus and understand how things work, right? I mean, choppy. You can say that the dollar has been falling. It's a direction as we start getting closer to today's decision. Dollar was moving intense. If you look at Japanese yen, it's been showing some love to traders after a while. If you take a major pair with dollar yen, we've been going higher for a while, since at least 2022 base here, right? And yen has been moving. So it depends. You need to connect to something. I know people in UK trade local currency pound. People in South Africa are paying attention to ZAR, to South African rand. People in Europe trading euro and so on. Canadian customers are trading Canadian dollar. Something that you feel, something that you live in. You feel the price levels, you feel the state of economy if you live in that country. So I know people in the Middle East region, they like to trade oil and gold. They understand it. Some of them involved in the oil business and so on. So choose what you like, trade it, and then analyze it so you can have statistics. Percentage of winning trades. You can also see what days and time of the day it's profitable for you, and so on. And then you can base your decision after. You take few instruments, and then you decide which are working for you, and the ones that are not working, you probably will decide to leave behind and focus on those that do. Okay. I hope it actually works. But as far as strategies, you have to pick what works for you. Nobody can tell you what to do, because I tell you from experience, I was running a group of traders when I was in the prop trading, and I was calling trades on the floor. And at the end of the day, everybody followed my trades, and I did myself. Sometimes some young boys in my group made more money than I did, and some lost, some make more or less. It depends on personality of the trader, and I always call it the pain tolerance, the risk levels, discipline, and a lot of things. So I always say, you put 5 traders, tell them to do the same thing, and they'll have different results. Right? Okay, guys, thank you. You've been great. Next week, we're not going to have this webinar. I will be traveling. I'm going to New York. The following Wednesday, I'm not sure if it's but just follow the announcements and register accordingly. Okay, good luck, everyone. Have an amazing trading session and be well. All the best. Take care.